After Kobe and James swapped their careers, only fourth-year Kobe already had 2 rings on his hands and was extremely hopeful to chase a 3 repeat. After all, the Cavs owner's insanely spoiled roster upgrading was still continuing, but Cleveland's this kind of cost no object investment, along with Kobe, who hadn't even reached his absolute peak, but already had a 98 overall rating, undoubtedly blocked other teams' championship roads, which triggered their intense anxiety and crazy retaliation among them. Especially the Celtics and Lakers, these 2 teams' moves were the most eye-catching. The Celtics move came from the front office's masterpiece signings. Ainge not only traded for the sharpshooter Allen, but further with a league-shaking 7-for-1 blockbuster mega-trade brought the big-ticket Garnett to Boston. The Celtics, in a blink of an eye, became the biggest championship favorite. Their title odds even surpassed the Cleveland Cavaliers. Pierce, who had been cooked by Kobe for 2 straight years, finally didn't need to envy Kobe's super team teammates anymore. And the Lakers' move came from their franchise star James, painfully staying with the Lakers for a full 10 years, wasting tons of prime youth. But the strongest teammate he had ever partnered with was merely O'Neal, who could only dominate the paint but was completely useless away from the rim, while the rest of the teammates were all the likes of Parker, Mim, and Brown. Even worse, the Lakers never even assigned a decent head coach for him. The Zen Master, who strictly relied on a single triangle offense his entire life, heavily limited James' offensive talent. Therefore, in the summer of 2007, James for the second time left Los Angeles in frustration. Luckily, I have the time stone, so I can always force him back, but these consecutive dramas still gave old Buzz, who used to feel safe just because James' loyalty rating was as high as 99, a massive wake-up call. So after a 3-year gap, the Lakers finally once again became a dual-core powerhouse with 290-plus overall players. Although at this time James, due to the Zen Master's stubborn coaching, saw his overall rating slide down. Further driven by his professional work ethic, he still did his absolute best to carry the Lakers into the playoffs. And after getting the help of heavy reinforcements like Wallace and West, the other main character of our story, Kobe continued to lead his team on an absolute tear, capturing an insane 67 wins and heavily locking down both the scoring title and the regular season MVP. He was also selected into the All-NBA First Team and All-Defensive Second Team, along with James and other top-tier superstars. Perhaps if it weren't for fellow forwards Duncan and Garnett being way too beastly, it wouldn't be impossible for them to make the All-NBA First and All-Defensive First Team together. But what made people sigh in disappointment was that, in the first round of the playoffs, they lost Game 7 to the Utah Jazz, unfortunately and regretfully bowing out. Throughout the 7-game war, James pretty much left everything on the floor. He became the absolute first man who could still dish out a massive amount of assists while playing under the strict system of the triangle offense. Helplessly, their teammates' performances were not stable, especially Fisher, who was originally responsible for handling clutch balls. He unfortunately suffered an injury and left the court in Game 2. This further caused the Lakers' crunch time phase to often fall into a scoring drought. Plus, Gasol's playing style was a bit soft. His physical contention ability was not strong. Meanwhile, Odom and Bynum were truly way too unstable. So, playing an unsuitable system and carrying such a miserable roster, yet still being able to battle 7 games with tough guys like Williams, Kirilenko, and Boozer, this was already truly not easy. After all, this was in the brutal West. It was not the chill East, which was flooded with garbage teams and filled with players just making up the numbers. The most typical team in the East that ate up all the benefits was the Cavaliers. They often faced a first round and second round that were almost no different from a bye, and in the East Finals, they finally matched up against the powerful Celtics' Big Three. They used their home court advantage to easily take Game 1 first. Kobe, due to his powerful team roster depth, could still coast to a win, even if he only had less than 20 points recorded. If it weren't for Varejao being out for the season, Kobe would have played even more easily. Of course, the Celtics' interior big meat shield Perkins tearing his ligament might be the ultimate primary reason for causing this situation. Losing Perkins, the Celtics' rebounding and paint defense were clearly at a disadvantage. Davis's rim protection was obviously not enough to handle the towering Ilgauskas. They could only rely more on the big-ticket Garnett's interior, help defense and perimeter sweeping to make stops and fix holes. And the Celtics' perimeter players had to press and contest even more aggressively. They had to try their best to patch up the gap in their overall rotation. But what the Celtics could do, the Cavs could do as well. Even what the Celtics couldn't do, the Cavs could still do. And purely talking about perimeter defense, the Cavs were even better. The Celtics trying to break the game with isolation was almost very hard to achieve. They could only rely on Rondo's playmaking and distribution to catch the Cavs off guard. But Rondo himself was playing through injury and shouldn't play long minutes. Plus, his limited offensive threat was very hard to permanently destroy the Cavs' defensive formation. Therefore, the Celtics played harder and harder. The point differential grew bigger and bigger. In the end, during 2 consecutive away games, the Celtics dropped both matchups. It was also after this battle that Pierce, for the first time after losing to Kobe, had absolutely no mood to evaluate his opponent. He just fiercely fired back a sentence, "We will see you in Boston." Game 3 moving to Boston, the Celtics' mental spirit looked completely brand new. especially Big Baby Davis, who saw his adrenaline surge. He transformed from a crybaby into the Celtics' heavy tank. After the tip-off, he had both backdoor cut layups and second chance points, along with leading the pack on a fast break sprint. For a moment, the Cavs were caught completely off guard. To limit Big Baby from continuing to run wild, the Cavs even threw double-team treatment at him, but Davis's response was still highly commendable. This sudden twist completely stunned the Cavs, but it suddenly brought the Celtics' overall offense and defense to life. Plus, Allen found his three-point stroke just in time. The Cavs' defense became completely scrambled. Even their offense took a hit. With more than half of the fourth quarter gone, they had only recorded a miserable 7 points. The sound of the Cavs clanking shots echoed one after another. Even Kobe could not escape it. Meanwhile, Allen and Pierce took advantage of the momentum. They launched a massive onslaught. They knocked down shots consistently. Gradually, the game turned into a one-sided slaughter. The two-time champions suddenly looked like green rookies in front of the three old veterans. This showed just how insanely difficult it truly is to complete a three-repeat. In this game, Allen never rested for a single second, playing the entire game. His masterful shooting display completely shredded the Cavs' defense every single time. This rang a massive alarm bell for the Cavs. They must stay highly alert at all times to avoid repeating the same mistake in the upcoming games. But after Game 4 tipped off, Brown, who was desperately trying anything in a panic, made another incredibly wrong decision. He benched Wallace and inserted Smith. This caused Garnett to find his rhythm and get into a groove right from the opening tip, while Ilgauskas suffered a head injury from a collision in Game 3, seeing his effectiveness heavily damaged. This meant the Cavs struggled mightily to grab control of the game. In the final period, just as Kobe knocked down 2 consecutive buckets to close the gap, Rondo suddenly went unconscious. He hit a heavily contested buzzer beating three-pointer right in their face. This completely shut down any chance of a Cavs rally. Can the Cavs rise above the adversity and capture this pivotal victory? Next, we will wait and see.
Celtics with the lead. Passes it inside, and they track down the rock.
KG is an incredibly tough big man, and I am absolutely shocked he didn't finish that layup.
Smith gets the ball, and Smith's shot is also contested. No good, Boston ball. They once held a maximum lead of 14 points. Garnett on the perimeter. Pierce. Only 5 seconds left.
Rejected relentlessly by Kobe. Oh man, he has completely lost his shooting touch in this quarter.
Three-pointer is up. Ilgauskas with the board, goes up for the layup and scores.
They have got to bring more physical intensity in the paint.
Allen, that three-pointer was absolutely great. He is playing exceptionally well.
He is the definitive key player in this matchup.
Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Celtics board. On the perimeter, Rondo. Passes back to Allen. Three-pointer is up.
The loose ball is secured by West. With that much open space, he is highly skilled at making opponents pay for their relaxed defense.
Ball is dished to Smith. A floater right over Allen. And the Cavs smoothly capture. Another 2 points.
Here comes Rondo. On the perimeter, Pierce, a three-pointer blocked by Kobe again. He smoothly recovers the rock.
Pierce aggressively attacks the paint and draws the whistle for a shooting foul. Unbelievable from the charity stripe in the second half. They were 100%, but missed the second.
West bringing it up. Cavs down by 7. West drives the lane. Gets it to drop in the low post. The depth of this Cleveland team is unreal. Anyone can score. Pierce with the ball.
Ripped down by the Cavs. What an embarrassing quarter for Pierce. Completely locked down on the offensive end.
Kobe working in the post, and Garnett secures the board. Allen on the perimeter. Rejected. Big Z with a ferocious stop.
2 seconds on the clock. Boston misses again. Kobe on the outside. Stolen by Pierce. Allen on the perimeter. Rondo gets it. Kicks it back to Allen. 6 seconds on the shot clock. To Davis. Ilgauskas secures the rebound. Cavs on the transition. It is a 5-point game. Here is Smith. Screen set. Kobe receives. Allen on the lock. Passes to Big Z. Garnett tracks down the rebound.
Along with the Cavs' 2 consecutive offenses both coming up empty, they also grew further and further away from victory. This kind of scene even made Rivers on the sidelines unable to hide his smugness. It looked like his motivational chicken soup really had a massive healing effect. Compared to the Celtics' high spirits, especially since Rondo's injury was also completely healed, the Cavs' mood fell almost entirely to the absolute rock bottom. This was because Ilgauskas, who left mid-game due to injury, received a medical report that was not optimistic at all. But even so, for this pivotal Game 5 battle, Ilgauskas still insisted on suiting up. He vowed to live and die together with his squad. This move was not inferior to Rivers' motivational chicken soup at all. And to help his big brother reduce his physical wear and tear, Kobe turned his offensive firepower all the way up right from the opening tip. He showcased the brilliance of a 3-time league scoring champion to the absolute fullest. Meanwhile, his lockdown defensive capability furthermore made Pierce suffer miserably. This caused even Rivers on the sidelines to stop smiling. But if it were only Kobe alone with a hot hand, actually the Celtics could still handle it. After all, a shooting touch always has moments when it cools down. Unexpectedly, West, who had been heavily cooked by Allen for 2 straight games, also instantly went on an absolute tear amidst the roars of the home crowd. This kind of opening directly stunned the Celtics, especially since Garnett also fell into early foul trouble. It caused the Celtics' offense and defense to completely paralyze. They could only watch helplessly as Kobe led the Cavs to grab match point 1 step ahead. Luckily, Game 6 moved back to Boston. The fans there would always give them some extra energy. They must take the game in one fell swoop, while Ilgauskas could not play at full strength. But Kobe clearly did not want to grant their wish. Even when they trailed by a maximum of up to 20 points, he still never gave up hope of winning the game. After all, the longer it drags out, the more things can go wrong. And once it enters a do-or-die Game 7 battle, who wins and who loses will be highly unpredictable. Under the persistent and continuous onslaught from Kobe and Gibson, the situation finally saw a turning point. With just over 1 minute remaining in the game, they cut the point differential down to only 7 points. However, while the Cavs had Ilgauskas playing through injury, the Celtics also had the tough guy Pau step up. Carrying a left hip contusion, Pau fought and scrambled desperately. He utilized a violent putback dunk to directly snap the Cavs' comeback momentum. On the subsequent offense, Kobe's layup rimmed out. Luckily, West's three-pointer arrived like charcoal in a blizzard. It allowed the Cavs to see a faint possibility of a comeback once again. They hurriedly utilized the intentional foul strategy. They sent Rondo, who was their absolute worst free throw shooter, to the charity stripe. But along with Rondo cleanly knocking down both of his free throws, the Cavs ultimately still suffered a regretful defeat. At the TD Garden, in this season's playoffs, no team had ever been able to escape completely unscathed. In this game, everyone on the Cavs performed below their usual standard, especially Kobe, who was the franchise leader of the Cavs. Without a doubt, his teammates could all be locked down by the Celtics, but he alone was absolutely never allowed to be. Therefore, for the Game 7 battle, whether he can bounce back just in time will be of paramount importance. The game just tipped off, and he immediately faced a three-pointer hit directly in his face by Pierce. This instantly woke up his combat genes, the duel belonging to the Cavs, and the Celtics officially raised its curtain right here. Kobe was just like a combative black mamba. Not only could every single shot strike their vital spot, but he also tightly locked up Pierce on the defensive end. He suppressed his opponent while continuously initiating offenses. Along with Ilgauskas battling through his injuries to still constantly engage in physical warfare in the paint for rebounds and second chance points, the Cavs' signature lethal weapon finally reappeared on the East final stage. Coincidentally, West also found his shooting touch at the most perfect time. This massively relieved the defensive pressure faced by Kobe and Ilgauskas. Meanwhile, Kobe and Ilgauskas also responded to their teammates' expectations with the absolute toughest on-court performances. This two-way dedication between the Cavs' two mega superstars and their role players presented the Celtics with an immense dilemma. Every single time they saw a glimmer of hope for a comeback, someone on the Cavs would always timely strike to suppress them, especially since every single bucket from Kobe hit the Celtics squarely on their weakest spot. With just over 4 minutes remaining in the game, the Celtics already trailed by as many as 11 points. Can they change their destiny against the odds? Next, let us watch together.
West is locking him up. Allen catches it wide open.
Boston misses yet again. He's having an incredibly rough night tonight.
He is not the sole reason they are trailing, but he is definitely one of them.
Smith with the second chance points. That slam was absolutely ferocious.
Adding another 2 points to their lead, and doing it in the most violent fashion possible.
Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. The whistle blows for a defensive 3-second violation.
Garnett hits the free throw, but the lead is still massive. They must find a way to contain the Cavs' offense.
Boston goal. That pass was just way too careless. This could spell absolute disaster. On the perimeter.
Kobe, a great bank shot layup. It drops.
Just like that, the lead balloons to 14 points.
Now it is Pierce handling the rock.
He cleanly hits both free throws. Only 5 seconds left. Lets it fly from deep.
Favas missed a shot, but they completely burn off the 24-second clock.
Pierce with the ball. Kobe checks him. Fires from deep. Pierce hits the three-pointer.
You absolutely cannot forget about his perimeter range.
Right now, the Celtics have 0 answers for Kobe.
First free throw is good. He is ice cold from the stripe.
Swatted away by Kobe.
Now West. Ball finds Kobe.
Kobe takes flight. Wow, what a spectacular slam.
On the perimeter, Pierce.
Pierce lets it fly.
Garnett skies for the putback. Great tipping bucket. He never gives up on a single board.
Working inside. Rejected on the shot. Ball goes out of bounds. It stays Cavs ball. Garnett secures the rebound. Allen on the perimeter. Now Pierce handling the rock. He is locked down heavily. Allen on the perimeter. Fires from deep.
Celtics miss again. Their hopes of a comeback are heavily fading away.
Ball goes back to Kobe. Three-pointer drops smoothly. The fans are already getting ready to celebrate the victory.
Along with Kobe's cold-blooded three-pointer slashing home, the outcome of the game was completely and fully set in stone. At this moment, the Quicken Loans Arena was already like a landslide and a tsunami. Amidst the boiling red wave of Cleveland, in merely the 5th year of his career, Kobe had personally buried the arrogant Celtics Big Three. A grueling 7-game war. The ultimate physical suffocation, Kobe delivered the absolute pure Mamba answer. He used his unguardable individual ability to brutally tear apart the strongest defense in the entire league. And what was even more shocking was his leadership charisma. At only 24 years old, Kobe had already forged the Cavs into the absolute dominant ruler of the East. Relying on his bone-deep desire to win and lethal decision-making in clutch moments, he led his squad to punch their ticket to the finals for 3 consecutive years. In the 5th year of his career, Kobe was already standing right on the doorstep of a 3-repeat dynasty. His opponent was once again the San Antonio Spurs, a squad that had been eliminated by the Cavs for 2 straight years. Battling for life and death time after time, both sides already knew each other inside out, and there were absolutely no secrets left to speak of. In Finals Game 1, the Spurs collapsed their entire team defense to lock down Kobe and Ilgauskas, while the Cavs deployed their full military forces to surround and suppress Duncan, Parker, and Manu. But speaking of roster depth, looking across the entire league, the Cavs could hardly find any rival at all. Therefore, in the opening battle, the Spurs could only fly home in absolute defeat. It was actually quite strange to say, the Spurs could pretty much blow out any team in the league, yet every single time they matched up against Kobe's Cavs, they always seemed to lose that usual composure and calmness. They simply could never contain Kobe's mid-range pull-ups from anywhere on the floor at any given time, while Duncan, who was famous for his absolute stability, always found it incredibly difficult to blast through the Cavs' multiple towering giants. Even with Virajao out for the season, Duncan only managed to grab 10 rebounds. Meanwhile, the Cavs' Ilgauskas snatched 14 rebounds, and Wallace secured a massive 18 rebounds, strictly providing the Cavs shooters with more than enough room for error. Therefore, the third battle of the finals, as far as they were concerned, became an absolute must-win matchup. With just over 5 minutes remaining in the game, the Spurs finally met their definitive moment of truth.
Barry with the rock. Fires from deep.
Duncan secures the board.
Hits the bank shot layup.
He brings heavy rebounding power and scoring inside. Cavs can simply never lock down him.
Kobe drives into the paint, swatted away by Duncan.
Right over Pavlovic. Finley misses the shot. The defensive intensity on both sides is heavily picking up.
Exactly.
They went scoreless for a long stretch right there. Spurs led by 3 for now. Barry on the release. Defense fouls him. He heads to the stripe for 2 free throws.
First one, drops. He hits both of them from the line. Ball finds Wallace.
Now Pavlovic, 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
On the perimeter, Kobe. What an absolute contested and tough three-pointer. Working inside, Oberto. He grabs the timely dime, drives in for the layup and scores. West.
On the perimeter, he looks for the alley-oop. Board secured by Bowen. Oh man, such a tough break to miss that look.
Wallace pulls down the board. West handling the rock. Screen from his teammate, three-pointer. He misses that shot.
Now, the defensive pressure from both squads is completely locked in. Spurs must find a way to score right now.
Board secured easily by Wallace.
West with the ball, dishes to Pavlovic. Three-pointer is off. The open look was absolutely there. Just could not convert.
Nice attack from Parker. They definitely want to get more paint touches.
Kobe feeds Wallace. Rejected on the shot. Ball goes out of bounds. Cavs retain possession. Only 5 seconds left. Ball finds Kobe. Shooting right over Bowen. Heavy contest right there, but it drops anyway. That shot difficulty was completely off the charts.
That shot difficulty was completely off the charts. Parker with the rock. Fouled on the release. Heads to the stripe for 2.
First free throw is good. He converts both shots from the line. 6-point game right now.
Very little time left for the Cavs. They must execute perfectly on every single possession.
Ilgauskas misses the look. Bowen. Bow finds Finley.
Finley with an absolutely flawless scoring night. 14 field goal attempts, and he already converted 10 of them.
Kobe drives into the restricted area. Wow, Kobe with a ferocious power dunk.
The explosion right there is unreal. The top priority for the Cavs is a defensive stop right now.
Parker handling the rock, outlets to the front court. Duncan attacks the rim and scores.
Along with Duncan's uncontested layup smoothly dropping into the bucket, the Cavs were already completely powerless to turn the tide. The Spurs also finally captured this highly crucial third battle. But if they truly want to possess a genuine possibility of chasing the championship, the fourth battle remains an absolute must-win matchup. Naturally, the Cavs also fully understood the massive significance of this upcoming duel. Therefore, the very moment the opening buzzer sounded, both sides simultaneously flipped the switch into full combat mode. The star players of both the Cavs and the Spurs all brought out their absolute finest signature skills, especially Duncan's highly dominant defense. He swatted away multiple driving layups from various Cavs players right outside the rim. The Cavs' offense was heavily limited and suffocated. However, no matter how strong Duncan was, he simply could not guard the shots from beyond the three-point arc, nor could he contain the mid-range jumpers that the Cavs excelled at so masterfully. But on the flip side, Parker's slashing was likewise too sharp for the Cavs to contain, and his laser-accurate distribution could always timely assist his teammates for effortless buckets. With just over 3 minutes remaining in the game, right after Roberto threw down a ferocious power dunk, both squads tied up the score. Pavlovic immediately responded by slashing inside for a driving layup to score, and the definitive final showdown officially kicked off right here.
On the offensive end.
Gino Billy standing at the top of the key. Parker on the perimeter. Goes for the floater. Rejected on the shot. West secures the rock, dishes to Kobe. Drawing the whistle right on the release. He will head to the charity stripe for 2. Bowen gets called for the foul. First free throw is good.
Great! He cleanly knocks down both from the stripe. Haas finds Bowen. Ball goes back to Parker.
Only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Fires right over West. Heavily contested, and the ball rims out. Now Kobe catches the ball. Successfully splits the heavy defense. Takes it up for the layup and scores. Duncan on the right block. His shooting touch seems to have slid down a bit.
West with a pull-up jumper. He rushed that shot a little bit too much. No good.
The Cavs should execute with more composure. They absolutely cannot afford to play careless basketball. Stripped by Kobe.
On the left side, West. West gets
The
swatted.
Spurs must find a way to manufacture a bucket. Even a simple two-pointer.
Parker drives inside. Bowen misses the shot. Their scoring drought is still continuing.
It is a massive shame. The Spurs are heavily backed into a corner right now.
Now Pavlovic, checked by Finley.
Big Zed cuts back door. Ilgauskas catches the ball. What a beautiful sequence.
Along with Ilgauskas slamming the ball heavily into the bucket, the Spurs' possibility of a comeback simultaneously vanished into thin air. For 3 whole years, the Cavs had seemingly and quietly become the ultimate mountain that the Spurs could simply never cross over. Even in this Game 5 battle, it felt as if in just a mere flash, they went from being down by only 3 points to down by 5, then down by 7, and all the way down to 9 and 11 points. By the time they finally cracked open the Cavs' ironclad defense, Kobe looked as if he was possessed by a god of war, leaving old Bowen looking completely helpless and battered. The Spurs' world-famous top-tier defensive anchor was thoroughly and completely shredded to pieces right in front of Kobe. With 40.5 seconds remaining in the game, the helpless Spurs pulled all of their main starters except Oberto. While the roof of the Quicken Loans Arena shook once again for the ultimate king through the blood and fire trials of 5 finals games, the Black Mamba Kobe led the Cavs to conquer the season Spurs 4-1, keeping the championship trophy in Cleveland for the 3rd consecutive year, and the 3-repeat dynasty was officially achieved right here. Traveling along this entire journey, Kobe was like the hottest burning star, constantly shining with an unstoppable and blinding light throughout the entire 07-08 postseason, whether it was uprooting the Pistons in the first round, slaying the Bulls in the second round, crossing the mountain of the Big Three in the East Finals, or deciding the victory at the peak of the Alamo City in the finals. He, without a single exception, crowned himself as the leading scorer of every single series with an unrivaled status. He used one devastating scoring feast after another to perfectly blend individual heroism with team victory, writing an epic and completely dominant masterpiece. So with a 3-repeat in hand, is this already the absolute peak? The answer is naturally no, because at this moment, Kobe was merely opening up the early chapters of his 5th year in the league. Therefore, as Kobe held the Golden Championship trophy high, accepting the landslide and tsunami like worship from the Cleveland faithful, a much bigger question was already roaring and exploding inside the minds of all basketball fans. The dynasty is established, but where exactly is the absolute limit of Kobe? What kind of suffocating height will his future ascend to next? Alright fellas, if you want to know what happens next, we will find out in the very next episode.